welcome you into another edition of the Coach Shinnick Show, playoff style. He is Coach Pete Shinnick. I'm Will Kennedy. Thanks for joining us. Hickory, North Carolina is we're all over the map on these shows lately. Coach, congratulations on a win. 43-38 in the final score. You guys moving on into the Final Four. And you talked about this a couple of times, how amazing this is. This is game 50 for the program.
Right.
And to be 2 out of the 4 years of this program,
right.
This depth of the playoffs, it just speaks a lot to your coaching staff, but the culture of this organization and this program.
Well, we got a great setup. I mean, the University of West Florida wanted to be successful, and Dave Scott, his vision to make this what it is, we're blessed to be a part of it. And, we have had great players, in all this process that just have a desire to, go out and compete each week. This was one heck of a football game, and one that, could have been won by either side. We just made enough plays at the end to make that thing work.
Our partner, Jamie Smith, on the radio said, I don't know if I can handle another one like this after Val Boston and now Lenore Ride. You'll probably sleep well after this one.
Man.
It was a heck of a game. Great crowd as usual on the road coming up here to watch this. And really, you were talking about all the things that they do, and I'm sure it's fun for their fans to watch. Not so fun if you're watching all this stuff happen.
Yeah, they're very meticulous in what they do offensively, and they just keep moving, shifting, flipping, going around. We felt like we could score some points and felt like we needed to in order to make that. And again, credit to them. Thought they had a really good game plan trying to make it work against us. But in the end, we had the lead, and now you got 2 minutes to go, and they got to score a touchdown. And that put some pressure on them that they weren't quite as comfortable with.
Let's dive into the highlights here. You guys get the ball first and don't really go anywhere in the first couple downs. And then the special teams, and we talked about it during the week, and how it was going to work. You need all 3 phases of the game. You guys get them up, come up with it, turn it over, and then get a safety. I don't know if I've ever seen a start like that.
No, that was as unique a beginning. First off, we dropped the ball on, I felt like we had a third down conversion there. We dropped the ball. Good defense on their part. They hit us hard. Then we punt. D'Anthony Bell gets the ball right back. Okay. And, then again, the fumble, which I still got to see that to actually believe it. But then to get the safety was huge, and then to go score the touchdown after that. Again, we were on the field, I think, except for one play all of the first 8 minutes. Great credit to our offense and just what they were trying to do and how they were trying to accomplish things.
You guys, the touchdown you mentioned, Austin to Karan Ashley in the passing game, and you knew there were going to be some opportunities there. You took them early, so you get on the board 9-0, but then you see their offense do what they do, and they're able to move so quickly.
They are, and I mean, they just do a really good job of keeping you off balance, making you guess. And, I felt like in the first half we were limiting some things. The second half, I thought they had to do what they had to do because they were just trying to find a way to answer us. I think you're going to look at it, and there's going to be 2 plays there where I think we could have had better eyes. We could have put ourselves in a better position. But credit them for trying to find a way to attack us.
9-7 at the end of the first quarter doesn't belie what's about to happen the rest of the day. You guys jump into it. You score a couple seconds into the second quarter, capping a good drive, and it's Q who had a great day from Austin again, and they got a nice connection.
They really do, and I think Q had a big day. Tate had a big day again. Those are both our leading receivers. Those guys have been phenomenal. Austin, I felt like our O-line did a really good job. This is a team that had 48 sacks. Okay, coming into this thing, they had 2 against us. Really, I think one of them we could have got out of. I think it's a great credit to our O-line. Samuel Antoine did not play. Okay, did not play in the game because of his foot. Joe Wintrick moved out to guard. So for that to happen and us still be able to get done what we want, I thought that was huge for us.
Larry Allen slid off the tackle and made it work. You guys are ahead, and they score again. And
Josh Sitton would be the one that made
Josh Sitton.
There you go. We were with Josh.
They scored to get right back in it again, but there was answer after answer after answer. You guys go down the field. Big one. Rodney Coates on a 47-yarder.
Yeah, huge. And again, we feel like we had a couple of those looks, and we were able to capitalize on a lot of them.
They score right before the half to make it 26-21. So you go to the locker room, they're getting the ball back to start the second half, and you know what? It's one of those. I know you got to make some adjustments in half.
We do, and again, we just felt like it was going to be a back and forth kind of deal, and we knew that every possession was going to matter, and every opportunity was going to be huge. We turned the ball over in the second half, which we didn't do in the first half, but that kind of neutralized us because we only had one punt in the first half, I think, the turnover in the second. But other than that, we just knew it was going to be this type of game.
We'll dive into the second half highlights here, 26-21 at the break, where the Coach Shinnick Show continues.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
Argo fans, we need your help helping our friends and neighbors in need. During the month of December, our men's and women's basketball teams will be collecting winter coats, hats, gloves, new and gently used winter clothing items to help families in the Pensacola area. Bins will be located inside the UWF Fieldhouse lobby. You can drop off donations throughout the week and at all home games through December 20th. All donated items will be loaded into a truck and delivered to Waterfront Rescue Mission December 23rd, courtesy of our friends at Coastal Moving and Storage.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Welcome back to the Coach Shinnick Show. You guys come out of the locker room at halftime, and you know it's a game where their offense is that good, where you kind of like Valdosta, you can hold them to a field goal here or come up with a stop there. It's going to pay off. They get the ball, drive down, and your defense does hold it through.
Yeah, that was huge. I thought the field goal right there really set us up to be in position. I was like, okay, we need one more of that. Our defense has been phenomenal in the red zone. I mean, just holding people, doing that. We knew it was going to be a hard game like that. That was a big one. That kept us, I felt like, moving in the right direction.
And we talked about those answers and the way that kind of works. And we haven't seen one of these all year. And I've been feeling for a couple of weeks like special teams is going to make a play, something big is going to happen. James said Willie Baker would do it. It turns out to be Marcus Clayton, but we knew it was going to be a kick return. What a fantastic play, and really the kind of momentum you have to have.
Well, that was game changer right there. And so we've been waiting kind of for Marcus to do that. We felt like we could get him that type of look, but man, he showed his speed and he showed his acceleration because he ran away from everybody and really made that a special play.
75 yards on that one, and they kind of closes out the third quarter. Fourth quarter would be wild and Willie there. Anthony Johnson, I thought you guys didn't run for a ton of yards, but there was some, especially the second half, some very effective running. Yeah. And he had a punishing touchdown run from 7 yards out.
Yeah, he did, and we were feeling that, and I felt like, we're going to talk later in, I felt like we kind of had that same look until they called the illegal shift on us there to put us in third and long, but really liked what we were able to do in the second half running the ball. Again, we've never said we got to run for 150 to be able to win a game, or we've never put that out there. We've just said we want to be efficient in running and run when we're capable of. Anthony showed that. I think both those guys, he and Newton, ran really well.
A couple times when we saw it, in this game where you had after a sack, both of the sacks you mentioned, you picked up a first down. The next play was big, big passes and receptions, and that was huge. You guys are up 16, and then here they come.
Yep.
They get right down the field, quickly score, and get the 2-point conversion. They get it back, and then interception. Yep. Austin throws, and he's been great at bouncing back from those. And always they go down. They don't get the 2-point conversion. Heck of a play there.
Yeah, D'Anthony Bell really tipped that thing, and he probably had 3 or 4 of those throughout the course of the game that I think changed the direction of the game. His interception obviously was huge, but those tips there, and he had one, I think, on a second down that kept him in second and long down the sideline. Great day for him.
Austin had made one, he missed one, and then you get a chance to go back to him again after a great stop, fourth down, and you get off the field, and you got it in deep in there, and I know you wanted to punch it in.
We did.
But he makes that one count, and that was huge because then they had to score a touchdown.
Yeah, and really kind of, we had, I think, second or third and 4, and they called the illegal shift on us. They bumped it back. So now I was either, do I run a play and try to run some time off, or do I go for the kill? And I'll throw the ball to Quentin Randall Rudolph or Kate, whoever, or KG or Rodney Coates, Kenneth Chanel. I'll throw it to any one of those all day long. And we were close, just missed by a little bit.
The defense has to come up with something at the end. You kind of knew they were going to move it down. They did, and then D'Anthony Bell, and I jokingly said this, a couple times earlier in the season where he had interceptions right in his hand, but did not come up with them. When he needed to make the biggest one, he made it happen.
We'll take the one he did because that was a phenomenal catch on his part.
You guys walk away with the victory. You're on to the Final Four, and it's going to, it's a heck of a run. But to get to this point, you got 3 number 1 seeds out there. We'll find out a little bit later in the show who you're playing and all that. But one of the overall team performance, special teams, offense, defense, and you mentioned Joe Winchuk, to have a guy step in and do something like that. And there are stories like that across your thing. It just speaks to how special this team is.
Well, it is. It's a great group that really understands it, gets it. They're playing extremely well. We're blessed to be one of 4 teams left. We know that. We understand that. But we're gonna enjoy this, enjoy the ride home, and then get after whoever they say we're playing.
Sun is sinking on the day here in Hickory, but not on the season. Congrats on the way to go, Coach. 43-38. We'll talk to Sam Antoine coming up next, and then a little bit later, we'll have Coach Shinnick back to talk about the next opponent, because there is one. We're going to the Final Four right here on the Coach Shinnick Show.
Real change occurs in that split second.
A moment of connection among people.
Change is inclusive.
Change is collaborative.
Change is transformative.
Change connects. Who will you connect with?
What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
What does Argo Spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's curve. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. Each week we like to spend a little time with one of the student athletes. This week it is Sam Antoine, big left tackle, number 52. You know him. You don't see him too often without his helmet on, though. You get the smile. Show him the smile, Sam. Let everybody know where you're from and kind of how you got here to the University of West Florida. It's a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, well, I'm from a small city next to Fort Lauderdale, Western Florida. Out of high school, I went to Glenville State University in West Virginia. Went there for a year and a half. It wasn't too great for me. I had to get out of there. So I called up Coach Shinnick and Coach Sonye while I was in the offseason, right after this season, and they gave me a chance. So came here, and everything I've been grateful since.
Nice to be back in Florida.
Yes, real nice.
You guys, we've talked to some of your teammates on the offensive line throughout the year. You guys have a special relationship. I've come out to practice and watched you guys. You clown on each other, you have a good time with each other, but then when Saturdays roll around, you guys are a tough unit.
Oh yeah, for sure. We know when to mess around and when to work, so that's just a good thing about our group. We can mess around, but we know when it's time to work, we got to work.
How difficult has it been for you to balance the studies and the football? You're graduating here coming up on the 14th and getting your degree. Let everybody know what the degree's in, but then also, that balance while you're playing and practicing and trying to make sure you get your schoolwork in too.
Yeah, my degree's in sport management, and it's kind of tough sometimes, studying late night sometimes, but you got lifts in the morning the next day and then tests and stuff. So you just got to balance your time out right. Sometimes it doesn't work out right and you'll be tired, but it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do.
You did an internship with the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, where you play your games on Saturdays. You got to be there during the baseball season. Exactly. What was that like for you? What was the most fun thing you got to do down there?
Ooh, it was, I don't know, a lot of it was fun. Just planning the events, planning the certain days we had to run. I planned Christmas in July, which was pretty cool. And it was just awesome seeing how the field was changed from baseball to football and stuff like that. It's just a different like view kind of.
In 2018, I got on a bus and rode to you guys with UNA. You stepped right up on the bus, immediately grabbed the microphone and started telling everybody what was going to happen. If you're picking the playlist for the bus trips, what's the music? What's Sam making everybody listen to?
We're going to listen to some J. Cole, some Migos, for sure. Those two got to be in there.
Have you tried the wrapped potato chips, the Migos and sour cream?
Wrap snack.
What do you think of that?
Those are good. They're good.
Pretty tasty?
Yeah, they're pretty tasty.
What about you, pregame meal? What do you like to eat? I know you guys are provided it, but if you got to choose, what would you have on the menu?
I'll probably have some steak, some asparagus, and probably some sweet potatoes or regular potatoes. It depends on the day.
I asked one of your teammates this, so I'm going to ask you. Who's the funniest guy on the offensive line? You could say yourself. There's nothing wrong with that.
I would say I'm the goofiest, really. I'm the goofiest. I don't know about the funniest, but we got a lot of characters on the line. We got some characters.
Who's the most serious? Who doesn't get the joke sometimes?
I'd say the most serious. He really doesn't like laugh or anything sometimes, but Jacob, he's gotten more comfortable with the freshman Jacob.
He's the kid. He's the baby. It takes a little while to ease into that.
Yeah, for sure.
And what do you want to do when you're done here?
When I'm done, pursue football, see where that takes me. If that doesn't work out, get my MBA, and probably want to be an athletic director or like in basketball operations, a manager in basketball operations or football operations. It doesn't really matter.
Bright future ahead of you. Thanks,
Yes,
Sam,
sir.
for spending a little bit of time with us. Coming up next here on the show, we'll preview next week's opponent.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
A shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
What does Argos spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
Argo fans, we need your help helping our friends and neighbors in need. During the month of December, our men's and women's basketball teams will be collecting winter coats, hats, gloves, new and gently used winter clothing items to help families in the Pensacola area. Bins will be located inside the UWF Fieldhouse lobby. You can drop off donations throughout the week and at all home games through December 20th. All donated items will be loaded into a truck and delivered to Waterfront Rescue Mission December 23rd, courtesy of our friends at Coastal Moving and Storage.
There's nothing quite like coming together over a fresh cooked meal. Face to face, burger to burger, solving the world's problems over fries. There's also nothing like solving the problems right in front of you, like baseball practice, swim team, and getting your family's meals just like they like it, all with a few taps on your phone. Yeah, good thing there's more than one way to solve the world's problems. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show here at Penn Air Field, where the football team is getting ready for that big semifinal matchup up at Ferris State. We'll talk to Coach Pete Shinnick again in just a moment, but first we got to wrap up one fall sport that has put their season in the books. The volleyball team went down to Boca Raton, took the NCAA regionals against Barry. A tough match. They end up on the short end of this one, 3-1. Verasia Yan with 13 kills, Jordan Poppin with 10 in that match to close out. Another spectacular season for Melissa Walter and company. The Argos finished 26-9 on the year. We enjoyed watching it and look forward to volleyball back in action again next year. While the volleyball season is wrapped up, the basketball season is still young. The men and women both in action last week. The men sweeping the week, winning 2 games, the first of those with Tuskegee in town on General Daniel Chappie James night, and it was a good night for John Brown. He has been a terror since taking the court after missing the first 3 games. He led the way with 23. Connor Flanagan chipping in with 22 points in that game, and then they turned around on Saturday with Spring Hill in town, kind of that border war, the skirmish, if you will, and they get the big win against Spring Hill, 83-72 in that one. John Brown coming up huge again, 31 points and 10 rebounds, his third double-double in just 5 games this season. The men improved to 3-5 with the win. After the victory, we caught up with Coach Jeff Burkhammer.
Well, we played well enough to win the game. Guys made plays down the stretch to keep the lead and made a couple free throws, got a couple stops late. But overall, probably a little bit disappointed in how we played, coming off a really, really good win, but glad we found a way to win.
It was a split week for the women. Coach Stephanie Lawrence Yelton and company, they played. It was a doubleheader on Wednesday, but not back-to-back. It was kind of split during the day. It was a weird day for everyone, but they had Columbus State in town. Played a great first half. Just trailed by 2 at the break, but then the second half just kind of ran out of gas. Danielle Norquist posted her 4th double-double of the season, 16 points, 13 rebounds, but it just wasn't enough for the Argos. They came up on the short end, 73-55, but a nice bounce back on Saturday with Spring Hill in town, part of that doubleheader with the men. Sophomore Charlotte Elmore from England scored 20 points. Danielle Norquist, another double-double, 5th of the season, leading the women's team to a 66-62 victory over the Badgers. We talked to Coach Stephanie Lawrence Yelton after the victory.
We've worked extremely hard in practice since we came back from Thanksgiving break, and we started to compete. I saw it in practice. I saw it in the Columbus State game, although that game didn't turn out like we wanted it to, but I saw glimpses of us really competing and getting connected, and I thought today was the payoff.
Both basketball teams will have a little bit of a layoff coming up, 8 days, in fact, before they get back into business on Sunday the 15th with Lee in town, and then Alabama Huntsville on a Tuesday the 17th. We'll be keeping an eye on that for you. As always, for all your scores and schedule and all the stories that are going on here at the University of West Florida when it comes to athletics, GoArgos.com is always your source. Coming up next, we will dive into that matchup, that Final Four date with Ferris State. Coach Shinnick will be back right here on the Coach Shinnick Show.
Real change occurs in that split second.
A moment of connection among people.
Change is inclusive.
Change is collaborative.
Change is transformative.
Change connects. Who will you connect with?
What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
What does Argo Spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, hey, Jeff, I'm a car thief.
What?
I'm here to steal your car because, well, that's my job.
What?
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 It happens. So get all state. I'd be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. In Pensacola, call Melissa Keener.
Welcome back in here to the Coach Shinnick Show. Coach Shinnick joining us again now here right beside Penn Air Field where the preps go on all week. Another week of it. You get to do another one. Ferris State this week up to Michigan, another week on the road. This is a football team that made it to the championship round last year where you guys were in 2017 and almost pulled one out against Valdosta. And I think it's a testament to the program to be back at this round again.
Well, it really is. They're 28-1 in the last 2 years. Only loss by a couple of points to the national champion in the national championship. They do a lot of things very well. They're gifted on both sides of the ball, probably as talented a group as we have seen, right there up with a Valdosta type football program that you're just like, wow, they got guys at every position.
I was thinking about it on the trip back as we were coming back from North Carolina. It's unusual in the fact that with the reseed for the Final Four, you can't really scout anybody because you're not sure who you're going to play. So you guys are having to dive in and do a lot of work in a short span.
Yeah, really are, and you've got great graduate assistants who are cutting up all that film and trying to find a way to put it in the right category and getting all the information in. But you have 12, 13 games on somebody. Now you're trying to figure out, okay, what do they do, how do they do it, and then what's our plan of attack for that?
They play in a conference that I know fans won't be real familiar with some of the teams they play. Grand Valley is a team that I think Delta played at one point this season, so there's a little bit of something to look at there. Does that help at all?
Not really. At this stage, you know, the Grand Valley Delta State game was early. It kind of gives you an idea talent-wise where they are. But, you know, Ferris really has played everybody, played them well, and, you know, really only had Grand Valley was kind of their closest game. So they've answered the call week in and week out to get to this point.
Now they've had a situation, the quarterback, something you're familiar with, where you lose a guy, another guy has to jump in. In fact, but they lost the Harlan Hill winner from 2018, Jaru Campbell. The other kid has stepped in and done a nice job.
He really has been fantastic, gotten as much done probably as you could ask for. And you know, if you were to say, hey, this guy started the season, has been playing all year, you would believe that based on his play. He's got a great supporting cast. His running backs get it done. He's got athletic wide receivers, and he just makes smart decisions. So they're a very good football team led by him.
What do you expect from them offensively, more run or pass heavy?
I think they've been pretty consistent. You know, I think they kind of, you know, they feel their way around a little bit, and then what's working, they go with it. But they've obviously been very good running the ball, and they're a little more heavier doing that. But we've seen them throw the ball well also.
Defensively, again, another team that's got a defensive end, who's got numbers that pop off the page at you, a linebacker that's similar as well, and then they've got somebody back there in the back end with 5 interceptions, so really kind of strong, it looks like, at every level.
They're strong across the board, and there are very few weaknesses, very few holes that you see. I think their D-line front 7 is probably as good as we've seen, which is what you expect at this time. There's a reason, you know, these teams are the way they are. We talked about LR earlier in the show. You know, there's a reason they didn't lose a game, you know, and you saw what they were capable of doing and how they were capable of doing it. So from that standpoint, you know, we look at this as, you know, just another unique, great challenge on our journey to try to continue playing football.
Now, I know the fans, and they were fantastic, not just in North Carolina last week, but watch parties in Pensacola, several of them around town, tons of people. Everybody's getting excited, and I think week to week, that hype and excitement just grows and grows. How do you kind of fight that as a coach with your team? Because you got to keep it. I know a business as usual, it's just another week, we got another opponent.
It is, and you know, this is an interesting week because it's finals week and guys are finishing out classes and people are telling them, you know, hey, we watched your game or we were at your game. Again, our crowd was fantastic up there in North Carolina, and that was the case, you know, at Valdosta. It was the case at Wingate. I mean, our fans have traveled well. And then the fun stories that we're getting, like you mentioned, the watch parties. Keeping our guys in check with all that, you know, hey, that's part of college life and that's part of, you know, the process. But it's been fun. I think our guys understand what we've got to do, and they're just looking forward to another week together.
If you're coming to Michigan, bring some warm stuff because it looks like it. We're still a few days out, but it looks like it may be mid-30s and there may be some snow. And at least Austin Reed, I heard, you know, has some experience with that when he was at Southern Illinois. So there's that, right?
Should be good.
All right, Coach Arte, good luck to you guys coming up this week, and we'll be with you at least one more week next week right here on the Coach Shinnick Show.